Hey everyone, happy Monday. It's Jo of SportsGrid and it's time for Puck It with Jo. I am so glad we are back to action on the ice. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out the skill competition or the All-Star game this weekend, but it was pretty interesting. We had Connor McDavid walk away winning the skill competition, walking away with that $1 million. And then if you tuned in to Puck It with Jo, you did hopefully take a Team Matthews after we saw that roster for that team. It was undeniable the fact that I did think that team would dominate out there on the ice. They got that nice big win to finish it off. So I thought how they did it this season was fantastic. I really liked what I saw out of them. But 2 games on the slate today, 8 games tomorrow. So Puck It with Jo is back. We're going to go over every single day. Make sure on the weekends that you turn on those notifications so you know when we're going live. But I missed you guys, that's for sure. Let's go. It is back. Shout out to each and every one of you. Oh, thank you, Kelly. That is a sweet comment. And happy good morning, or yeah, happy morning. Happy Tuesday. Good morning down under. So let's look at these. Kev, it's good to see you here as well. So let's look at these matchups today. The first one, the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers. This one kicks off at 7 o'clock. So current odds over on FanDuel, just pulling them up right now for this one. The Avs coming in, it's a pick 'em. It's -110 either side of this. We have seen a little bit of movement. Earlier in the day, Colorado was -105, and the New York Rangers were -114, -115. So -110, both sides. Now that total is 6.5. That total has not moved. You're going to lay a little bit more juice on the over 6.5 at -122. Now the under is coming in at +100. And you guys, I tend to lean to the under in this matchup. I like that +100. I think this is going to be a 3-2 style game. And I know Colorado, it's hard to go with a lower scoring game with Colorado and the Rangers. Both of these teams are able to put the puck in the back of the net. But I do think we look at the goaltending here. I expect a lot of the goaltending coming out of the break. I also do expect for more out of the New York Rangers. Now, one thing that does concern me here with the New York Rangers is their blue line tonight. Troba is out of the lineup. He's not allowed back in the lineup until Wednesday. So I'm worried about the blue line. I'm worried about the Colorado Avalanche capitalizing on that because we know how strong this team is. Nathan MacKinnon has been so phenomenally hot for them. Looking at him over those last 3 games, he's got 11 points. So if you're looking for him for a point tonight, you got to take it up to 2+ points. That's coming in at +104. I'm not sure if there's enough value for me to do that because I do think this is a lower scoring game. So you'd have to think he would get one of the goals and an assist in what I think is going to be a 3-2 game for the New York Rangers. Yes, I am on the New York Rangers, even though their blue line is a little weaker tonight. I think this team steps up at home. Now, Colorado, all the trends go for Colorado, though. They've won 7 of the last 10. They have been dominating. The last 2 games, though, have gone to a shootout in a lower scoring battle. I expect the same sort of thing here. Looking at the goaltending, we have Georgiev confirmed here for the Colorado Avalanche, 2.91 goals against average, a save percentage of 898. Now, he's facing his old team. His save shots on goal tonight coming in at 26.5. You guys know I'm taking that to the over. That's juicy, though, at -126. But I think it is a great prop bet here. We look at the New York Rangers, this team coming off rest. They're an older team, you guys. They definitely would have loved this rest. And coming into this one, I think we get them firing out there on the ice. Their average Okay, I feel like my internet wanted me to have a commercial break there. So hopefully you guys caught where I was going with that. Not sure why my internet flicked in and out. So apologies to you guys. Big shout out to you over in Europe. Let me know whereabouts you are over there. So we'll get back to this I think everything is connected nicely now. So let's get back. Where was I? What was I talking about last? Did you guys get Georgiev here confirmed in goal and his safe shots on goal? Because I am taking that to the over. I'm looking at that over 26 and a half save shots on goal for Georgiev in this one. Hey guys, fingers crossed. We are not going to freeze again. I am not sure what is happening with my internet connection. Thankfully, it didn't happen all weekend on SportsGrid. I can't remember the last time we froze like this. So everything is blue. It looks like we are solid. I've just got that little bar ticking up in the top corner, but fingers crossed we're good. Let me know if we're good, you guys, or if you're not hearing me still. Let's recap what I've said. Colorado versus the Rangers. It is the Rangers for me. I think this is a lower scoring 3-2 style game. It is now a pick 'em at minus 110. And I do have faith in this team to be able to come out nice and strong. It looks like we're getting the thumbs up. Who the heck knows what was happening there for a second? I apologize, you guys. Georgiev confirmed in net for the Colorado Avalanche. I do think you can take him over his save shots on goal. That's coming in at 26 and a half at minus 126. Now, I am looking at Jonathan Quick too, and Jonathan Quick absolutely needs to bounce back. We know Jonathan Quick started off the season so phenomenally hot, and then he kind of went on a downward slide here. So his safe shots on goal tonight, 26 and a half. We know how Colorado has been bringing it offensively. For the New York Rangers to be able to get the win tonight, I am expecting Jonathan Quick to really stand up. I'm taking him over 26 and a half safe shots on goal as well. That's coming in at minus 108. Now, we look at Colorado, like I was talking about with Nathan MacKinnon. He has been so phenomenally hot, 11 points in the last 3 games out there on the ice. I look at this team coming out of the All-Star break. They are going to be firing for sure. And I think Jonathan Quick can do enough to stand on his head. So Switzerland, that is awesome. I am so excited that you're watching all the way from Switzerland. All the best to you. So Pedro, good to see you as well. So looking at this, Colorado has dominated the matchup, but the New York Rangers, I think, even without Tuba on the ice, they just have to tighten up on that blue line. He leaves a big hole for them. I do think they can get the win. Now they're sitting first in the Metro, and we've got the Avs sitting first in the Central. Absolute battle out there. We have the Avs with the first night of a back-to-back. They got the New Jersey Devils on deck tomorrow. So they're coming out of this All-Star break with a hard schedule, with those back-to-backs. I expect tonight to be a little bit sloppier out of the Avs. Now, this is a team that has been scoring, but I just don't see it in this one. Give me the under. Give me a 3-2 win here for the New York Rangers. Let's look at the next game on the deck. And like I said, only 2 games today on the deck. The final game is the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, again, we have a total of 6.5, minus 114 to the over, minus 106 to the under. This is a hard total because I'm expecting a lot out of the New York Islanders in this game. We know Patrick Waugh took over this team, and he didn't really have a lot of time between games to really get this defense locked down. And I've been saying ever since he took over the Islanders, his goal is to be able to turn this team into a strong defensive team again. I'm expecting that to start happening. This is a team that allows Sorokin to be absolutely peppered out there in net. So the odds on this one, plus 128 for the New York Islanders. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, this is actually dropped. It's interesting to see that people are having faith in the Islanders today, because earlier in the day it was minus 166 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So now minus 154. And we now have the Islanders instead of plus 138, plus 128. I do think the Islanders in some way can have a successful game here today. Toronto was highly involved in the All-Star games. We know that they were at home. I'm sure there was a lot more signing of these players, signing autographs and everything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of the players, even if they were not part of the actual All-Star events, showed up to do something for the team. So coming into this, I think Patrick Roy really will have the Islanders mindset as a defensive mindset. I'm gonna look here at Sorokin to stand on his head. This is my number one bet. Sorokin, his safe shots on goal, I'm gonna take over 30.5. And I know this number is high, but the books have it juiced. They know that Sorokin is gonna come out and play a really strong game in this one. He absolutely has to stand on his head. The Islanders allow an average of 34.9 shots on goal per game. We know Toronto is going to bring it. They're averaging 33.1. I expect at least 40 shots out of Toronto in this one. 30.5, I don't even think is high enough for Sorokin. I expect if there's 40 shots in this one for him to save 38. You guys, I really do think this is a strong day for the Islanders. That defense, they need to improve though. So I do think we're going to start seeing those block shots on net come in. Now, will it be automatic? I don't know. I do think they could possibly, and yes, hold the Leafs to under on their team total. I'm taking the Leafs team total under 3.5. It's coming in at -118. I think this is another 3-2 or 3-4 game. If it's 3-4, I think it's the Islanders, you guys. So I'm not touching that full game total. I am going to take Toronto's team total to that under. I think Toronto will come in here underestimating what they're going to get out of the New York Islanders, kind of like last night with OKC and the Toronto Raptors. If you watch that game out there, OKC expected to just steamroll over Toronto. They ended up coming back and being able to win it in 2 overtimes after giving me a complete panic attack. But I do think Toronto will underestimate the New York Islanders, especially on the defensive side. I think we're going to get more defense in this one. I think Sorokin is going to be phenomenal. He's got a 3.17 goals against average and a 909 save percentage. Now, the last time these teams played, it was a 4-3 win for the New York Islanders on January 11th. So not long ago, less than a month ago. They're sitting 4th in the Metro, and we have the Toronto Maple Leafs sitting 4th in the Atlantic. They know they have to pick up their game here. I've seen a bunch of Make-A-Wish things happening for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so I would love to see them win in that 3-2 final score, because I do think there's a lot of Make-A-Wish kids coming. There's one of the kids, Liam, it was his birthday today, so they did a birthday celebration for him. So we'll see. But either way, 3-2, we still go under the 3.5. So Sorokin over. I'm also interested in the Leafs in the second period. Just a quick little trend here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have hit the second period money line in 22 of their last 30 games. So it is a strong second period for this team. Now, if we're looking at some player props in this one, I have to look at Barzal here. Barzal plays an absolutely phenomenal game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can look at him for the goal tonight, +195, or the 2+ points. Again, when we're looking at a lower scoring game, really hard to take someone for the 2+ points at +180, but there is value. The anytime goal at +195, I still don't love taking those goal scorers when we're looking at a lower scoring game. But I think Barzal, when we look at him in the first 2 matchups versus Toronto on the season, he's had 5 points, 8 shots on goal. I don't like his shots tonight because you have to take him 4+ shots on goal before getting any value, and there's just not enough value there for me. So it's either the goal or the points tonight. I'd probably go with the anytime goal. And then looking at Brock Nelson, there is value on 3+ shots on goal, but it's -138 for juice. So I don't love it. Noah Dobson here, 3+ shots on goal. He's -120. I think the Islanders will get these shots in this game. And then if we're looking at anyone from the Maple Leafs, we know they're going to come out and get their shots. Austin Matthews did absolutely phenomenal at the All-Star game. I would look at Austin Matthews to kind of roll with that momentum off that big win that they had for Team Matthews. So I'd look at him. I look at him for his shots on goal or anytime goal. You could also look at Mitch Marner. He's really interesting to look for on the power play point, because when you look here at the New York Islanders, this is something they need to fix, and we'll see how much they fixed it tonight. Their kill is the worst in the league. Like, I'm talking like behind the Sharks are even better on the penalty kill than they are. They're allowing their opponent to convert at 72.4%. So looking at anyone from the Toronto Maple Leafs for a power play point tonight. I absolutely love as well. Samsonov is confirmed in net. We will see how Samsonov does. So we know he came back from being sent down to the AHL, kind of getting his head straight a little bit. His numbers, he's got an 878 save percentage and a 3.36 goals against average. Now, going into the break, he looked incredible. Can he continue that? That is my biggest question about Samsonov here. Now, these teams also went into the break in completely opposite directions, and it is one thing that's really leaning me on a better game out of the New York Islanders. They absolutely know they have to come out of this break with a win. They lost their last 3 before going into that break, whereas Toronto rolled in nicely to that All-Star break, winning their last 3. They are sitting fat and sassy right now. I really do think we could see the upset coming in a 3-2 win for the Islanders. So keep a watch on this game. That is for sure. If I was looking at OT, I would probably look at OT between Colorado and the New York Rangers. I'm afraid if we do look at OT there, that we would push over that total because I think it would be 3-3 if we're going to OT. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for no overtime tonight. I could actually see it in both of these games, though, especially with the Islanders. The Islanders are a strong team at being able to push things back. 88% of the public on Toronto. Let's go Islanders. I haven't looked at anything for where the bets are coming in, but we're seeing a money shift in the way of the Islanders. So bigger bets are coming on the New York Islanders with that shift. They were plus 138 earlier in the day, now plus 128. So money coming in on the Islanders. But I love that the public is riding the Toronto Maple Leafs. We know that Toronto is a really solid team. I just think the Islanders will be not desperate to come out and get this win. Patrick Waugh will have this team ready to play some defense. And as long as they can play some defense and Sorokin can stand on his head, you got to remember Sorokin is so phenomenally strong that we could see it happen. Now, a couple other things to talk about happening in the league. Rumors that Justin Bieber, after his performance at the All-Star event, could be getting a contract deal. This is really interesting to even think about. He was an elite hockey prospect at the ages of like 13, 14, and then he went into singing. So we all saw him out there on the ice. I guess they got him to do a couple things with pads on, and a couple people have reached out. So something to keep an eye on, that Justin Bieber might be on a team next season. Also, Jack Hughes will be in the lineup tomorrow for the New Jersey Devils, and the Devils will be facing the Colorado Avalanche. So the Avs on that second night of a back-to-back. We also have to talk about the trades that have been happening. And I tell you, Monahan from the Montreal Canadiens has been on the move. And we also look here at Elias Lindholm, the biggest move, I think, for Vancouver, getting Elias Lindholm from Calgary. Vancouver, if you guys have missed it, I talked about it last week, looking at them to take the Pacific Division, looking at them to make it deep into the playoffs, I definitely think is something you want to jump on right now. I just want to see if we've seen any movement in these odds. And again, you guys, odds are over on FanDuel. The Pacific Division, we are seeing the Vancouver Canucks coming in at minus 145. So we really haven't since the trade was made. Well, it jumped up to minus 145 as soon as they got Elias Lindholm. It was minus 125 before. So if you're looking to jump on that, there is value. The Edmonton Oilers are coming in second at plus 230. And then followed by the Vegas Golden Knights at plus 600. The LA Kings fired their head coach. They're at plus 1800. Oh, wow. You want to know what's so funny? The Sharks and the Calgary Flames, both 25,000. They're both sitting at the same exact point. Calgary absolutely in a rebuild mode. This team needs to change things around. If you're looking at the other divisions, the New York Rangers, I think, do have a good chance of taking the Metro. You're getting them at plus 110. The Carolina Hurricanes are the favorite in the Metro right now, but I think the New York Rangers, with a slow start they got off to, should be able to get that division done. We got the Boston Bruins, the clear favorite of the Atlantic Division, followed by the Florida Panthers at plus 210. You're laying juice on the Boston Bruins at minus 170. The Toronto Maple Leafs at plus 1100 and the Tampa Bay Lightning at plus 2500. I do think Tampa has a sneaky chance of being able to get it done. They started off the season so slow with Andre Vasilevsky out. I do think this team at plus 2,500 has so much value. I worry about Boston, if I can talk, how they'll finish off the season, because we saw what happened to them last season with the best record overall going out in the first round of playoffs. Will they lighten up as we go to the end of the season? And yes, maybe they could still win the division, but I do like looking at those longer shots. When we look at the Central, it's the Winnipeg Jets all day for me. Now, Colorado's the favorite at minus 145, the Winnipeg Jets at plus 160. The Winnipeg Jets are built to win the playoffs, you guys. This team has the goaltending with Hellerbuck. They also are able to win on the road and at home. You look at the defense and what they were able to do through the months of December and January, really limiting their opponent's ability to be able to find the back of the net. And offensively, Kyle Connor was out for so long and they were still able to win and put up the goals. Now with Kyle Connor back in the lineup, came back a couple games before the All-Star break, they should be lights out. Now, I worry about Edmonton with the momentum that they created going into the All-Star break, that the All-Star break came at the wrong time. I also worry about this team because they've been able to lock down so strong defensively and goaltending-wise, if they'll be able to keep it up. And it gives me a little bit of concern for Winnipeg in the same situation, because we see these teams that have played so elite defensively and goaltending-wise get to the final end and just be burnt out. So we'll see what happens with Edmonton. Edmonton's schedule. Do they play tomorrow? No. Yeah, Edmonton plays Vegas tomorrow. You can actually bet if Edmonton will continue to get those streaks and continue to win these games. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to beat Vegas off that break. And they have played really strong. When we look at them in Vegas, Edmonton has been phenomenal. They've won the last two matchups. The November 28th matchup, they won 5-4 in a shootout. Or sorry, Vegas won the game before that, 5-2. So, and those were the playoff games. But we'll see how Edmonton does come out of this break. I just think it was a momentum killer for this team. Connor McDavid really needs to step up, and this offense needs to step up. Their defense is playing great, and they're getting those back checks. So I really like what we're seeing out of the forwards still for the Edmonton Oilers. I would love to see them continue to take this streak. If you're looking for Edmonton in the Pacific Division to take it, you're getting way more value at plus 230. And if they continue, I tell you, if they win their next 2, 3, 4, that value is not going to be there. So something to definitely look at, you guys. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Again, if you're just joining us, recap of those games. I think both games, lower scoring. Sorokin, I like for over his save shots on goal. The only goalie I'm not playing tonight is Samsonov. I'm playing all the other goalies to their over save shots on goal. So Georgiev for the Colorado Avalanche, his number 26.5 minus 126 to the over. Jonathan Quick 26.5 minus 108 to the over, and Sorokin 30.5 minus 122 to the over. So yes, we're laying juice on two of those goalies, and I don't love it, but I do think this is a goaltending night. Samsonov, I still have a little bit of concern how he's going to come out of the All-Star break. He did go in pretty solid. Toronto went in so solid into that break, and the Islanders were an absolute mess. I think the defense starts to lock down. Give me 3-2 scores in both of these games. The Rangers to win. I would love to see Toronto win it tonight, just because I do think there's a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids there. But I could see the Islanders be able to sneakily pull this one off. If they sneakily pull this one off, I think it is a 4-3 win in OT. And then I think if the Avs pull it off, it is a 4-3 win in OT. So do what you want with those totals. But I do think the Leafs team total under 3.5 at minus 118 is a super solid bet. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Let's have a good day. Let's make some freaking money. I'll see you back here tomorrow.